And therefore, it is important for us to understand that for one to be able to have that close proximity with Krishna and not really take advantage of his presence is a serious issue. But the point is that we can't blame people if even they come around and they don't take to Krishna consciousness seriously. It simply implies that such people have not acquired the appropriate merit, where Lord Brahma describes as Krita Punya Punja. Heaps and heaps of pious merit will enable the devotee to appreciate the instructions of Lord Krishna and execute those instructions, and ultimately to be able to have Krishna's personal association. And so, carrying out instructions of Krishna is a challenging thing. We find in the case of Arjuna, Arjuna was making some arguments. He wanted to act based on his ideas. And so to have a guru or take shelter of somebody, it looks like a joke in Kali Yuga. A big joke. Because it means, Prabhupada would say, you have to be my dog. You have to act as my dog. I mean, it's like, someone has a dog, a pet, and, wherever he wants to go, the pet will go with him. These days, even your child will tell you, your teenage child will tell you, Mom, I'm not going. I'm not going to this place. Oh, yeah. So we have that high tendency to exhibit our independence by resisting to follow instructions or by refusing to follow instructions. Why? What is the ultimate reason for this? Because we are by nature, we are also small insurers, We are controllers. And so if someone is a controller, he doesn't want to be controlled by anyone else. And to take instruction from someone means that, you're subjugating a person to that person's will. And so it's like you're selling your independence. But each and every one of us, we are somehow or the other, we have sold our independence to the government. We have sold our independence to friends. We have sold our independence to our loved ones. Because for you to really become credited as someone who is a loved one, you have to sacrifice your convenience for the purpose of pleasing someone else. So what's the difficulty in applying the same principle in relationship with Krishna's devotional service? So in the beginning, it could be very challenging to follow instructions. And sometimes we read about what Krishna says, and then we feel, no, this is not for me. This is not for me. This is too much for me. I remember one country I went to. There was one. That's what, I was young. I was young, and I was a brahmachari. So there was one Swami who came, who visited. So we went to see him. We went to see him. He was living in his disciples' home. The husband and wife, they're his disciples. So then the Swami came. As he came to the sitting room, I was overhearing a conversation between him and those his disciples, the husband and wife. And then the wife was telling him, Maharaj, that instruction, we cannot do it. Oh yeah. So this is called lived experience. I've seen it myself. People say, no, I am not going to do it, Guru Maharaj. This is too much for me. But we look at the lifestyle. I mean, we look at the relationship of Prabhupada, or the relationship of Prabhupada disciples with him. And that is why they are glorious. And most of them, they will even jump into fire if Prabhupada wanted them to do it. And therefore, to carry out the instructions of the spiritual master, it's not a joke. But If even you are a close, intimate friend of Krishna, you're moving with Krishna, you're eating with Krishna, you'll be put to test in terms of carrying out, following instructions. I'll give you a typical example. One time, Krishna and his friends, including Subal, this is a Vrindavan leader, including Subal, they were, out in the fields, tending to cows and playing around. And now, from nowhere, Krishna told Subal, Subal, go and bring Radharani right now. I mean, it's like asking for a hen to pass stool without water, without urine. A hen and chickens, they pass stool and water at the same time. So asking Subal to go and bring Radharani from Abhimanyo's home, and Abhimanyo's mother and the sister, and Abhimanyo's sister, they are the top class security agents for Radharani. But you know what? Subal didn't say, well, my dear Krishna, this instruction you're giving to me, and you know that this is not possible, and you're telling me to do it. He didn't say so. He went. He left the crew or the group, and then he started heading to Radharani's Abhimanyo's home. And as he was going, Krishna inspired him. He gave him, from within his heart, different strategies on how to execute that instruction. In other words, he empowered him. So if the devotee is willing to execute instructions of the spiritual master will empower that person. We look at the case of Prabhupada. When Bhaktisiddhanta gave him instructions that whenever he had money, he should go to the West. He should print books, go to the West and spread Krishna consciousness. I mean, it's like, again, it's like one of the most, unimaginable instructions. How's he going to do that? Other people have tried. Even scientists have tried. Bhaktisiddhanta sent scientists to the West. They couldn't make it. But he told Prabhupada, you should do it. Whenever you have money, you should print books. Go to the West, preach the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada didn't just say, well, Maharaj, I'm a grihastha, and this is just going to be impossible for me. But then he planned. I remember reading in some literature, when he was at Radha Damodar's temple, Prabhupada made all of these strategic plans on how to come to the West to preach. He took sannyas, he was at Radha Damodar's temple, and he was strategizing on how to do it, how to execute the orders of the spiritual master. So back to Subal's case, when Krishna gave him the instructions, he went ahead. He wanted to please Krishna. And as he went, Krishna inspired him. He developed some ideas on what to do. And then he went to meet Abhimanyo's mother that, hey. From nowhere, he got an idea. He told Abhimanyo's mom that, look, my calf must have strayed to your barn. Can I go check my calf? My calf must have strayed to your barn. Can I go check my calf in your barn? And the mother of Abhimanyo, she knew that this is Krishna's friend. So she warned him that, look, you go check in the barn and you come out as quickly as possible. But the point is, how he could develop that type of, amazing idea to convince Abhimanyo's mother to be able to have, to enable him to get into the compound. So immediately straight, he went to Radharani's chambers. And he saw all of the gopis with her. And he said, how did you come here? How did you manage to enter this compound? He told the story that, look, this is what I told your mother-in-law. So then they strategized on how to execute the plan. And it's a long story because we have just a short time. So that the bottom line is that he was able to have access into that most difficult place or inaccessible place. He was able to have access to it, to be able to execute the orders of Krishna to please Krishna. And Prabhupada, when he got that instruction, he strategized, and after some years, he was able to come to the West to spread this Krishna consciousness, and that is how all of us are benefiting from Prabhupada's endeavor. Prabhupada's endeavor to satisfy or to execute the orders, in executing the orders of his spiritual master. Arjuna was making some arguments in the beginning, but then later he got purified by Krishna's mercy, and then he said, I am associated unto you. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to have to do it. So Krishna wanted him to fight. And the fight has already been done. Krishna told him, look, you just do it and have the credit. So when the spiritual master gives us instruction, he actually wants us to have the credit. Someone else could do it. Why not? But then the point is that when we're given instruction, we should understand that this is the mercy of Krishna. This is the mercy of Prabhupada. This is the mercy of our spiritual master. And so, spreading the message of Godhead requires that we take instructions from the spiritual master. It might be your Diksha Guru, your Siksha Guru, or whatever. But execution of instructions have to be there. Otherwise, it is very difficult to make progress. Because whatever studies you are endeavoring for, you need to work on that some mental. And therefore, it is impossible to be able to attain the goal in Krishna consciousness without following the injunction of the Shastras in terms of working under the directions of the spiritual master. And so Krishna consciousness is very sweet, susukam avayam, inexhaustibly juicy, but we find it difficult because we don't align with the instructions of the spiritual master. We don't allow ourselves to be used, to be empowered, to be used as instruments in the hands of Lord Krishna to be able to execute the will of the Lord. And so, here in this text, the essence of becoming involved in Krishna consciousness is actually to see how we are working under the dependence of the Lord. We may say, well, I'm an independent person, I'm 18 years old. I remember somebody I met in one temple. I asked, what's your name? He said he's freeborn. I said, there is no one who is free in this country, on this planet. So he just busted up laughing. So the bottom line is that we have to depend on Krishna. That is the vivid instruction given here. In all activities, just depend on me and walk always under my protection. If we execute the instructions of Lord Krishna and the gift, it's just like a military personnel. He may be ordered by his general to execute someone, to kill somebody. He's not going to be accountable for that death. But if he was not instructed, if he does the things according to his own whims, even now, recently they were trying some military officer who was, he was in Afghanistan or Iraq or so. And there are some things, there are some rules you have to follow, even as a military officer. I think he killed somebody, not in a line, not following the ethics of military performance. And so his own people, they reported, and then he was tried. And therefore, we have to understand that to be dependent on Krishna, that is what evokes the protection. If we do things based on Krishna's desire, we will always be protected. Look, today is Saturday, and a number of people they are in parties now. You are choosing to come to the Matchless gift. You are choosing to come to this dam, to this 26th Avenue, to participate in Krishna consciousness. It means that you have made some sacrifice on behalf of for Krishna. You wanted to come and associate with the devotees, wanted to come and hear about Krishna consciousness, and so you forgo some other things that you could be doing tonight. And so that alone gives you a credit, because this is what basically happens, that we have multiple things to do, and we have to choose one thing to do because of the time factor. So when we choose Krishna in preference of other things, that shows that we have love for Krishna. We have love for Krishna and his message. And that is a preliminary stage of dependence on Krishna. Because when we come and then we hear the message, we try to execute what we have heard, and that keeps us on a very favorable pedestal to enhance the development of our Krishna consciousness. Are there some comments, some questions so far? Because, again, our time has been very short. I'm sorry for the time delayed today. Any comments or questions? Yeah.
I had you mentioned a Subal pastime before, Mark?
Subal, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know where that's from? I never heard it before.
Okay. There's I think that should be one of the writings of Vishwanath Chakravarti. One of them.
I see.
There are so many pastimes that, you know, if you're reading the books of the Pastor Charyas, especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives really, really deep. I remember the case of, I don't know whether this very past time it was in, but I read one of these Pastor Charya's writings. In one of Vishwanath Chakravarti's writings, he mentioned about, like the case of Karyavan. Karyavan was trying to catch Krishna, and Krishna would not let him catch him. Rather, Krishna led Karyavan into a cave, and I think Muchukunda or somebody was sleeping in that cave, and, that resulted to the killing of Karyavan by the person who was sleeping in the cave, because he thought it was Krishna who was gone there, and then he's sleeping there, so he kicked him. So, but then back to the point.
That's in the Krishna book.
Yeah, that's in the Krishna, in the 10th canto. So the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gave very insightful pastimes. Like one of them, like the case of Karyavan, where he was trying to catch Krishna, but he was not able to. But Krishna himself gave himself to his devotee. There was one time Abhimanyu came to Yasoda's home, and then Yasoda wanted to send some jewelries to Radharani. And so Yasoda has loaded up a whole full box of jewelries. But Krishna is always very desirous to meet with his gopis, his friends. And when Yasoda just left the room, Krishna ordered the cowherd boys, his friends, to remove all of the jewelries, and he entered the box, and then they lock up the box, and Abhimanyu carried the whole of this box containing Krishna to his house. Whereas Karyavan wouldn't let Krishna grasp him, although he was seeing him. Rather, he led him to his death. And so the point is that Krishna is ready to give himself to the devotee without, he's more eager to reach out to us than we are even eager to be able to see him or to reach out to him. So I recommend you read Vishwanath Chakravarti's.
You know who translated that book, Marsh?
Kusakrata translated some, Bhanu Swami translated some, a number of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other? Yes.
How do you tell the difference between your ego telling you what to do and it's your own desire, and when it's Krishna speaking to you and requesting
Oh,
that you do
that's a
something?
good point. How will you distinguish between your ego's instruction and Krishna's instruction?
Right.
Now, it's pretty easy. If Krishna instructs us, then basically it has to be weighed on this on the check and balance system. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Can we find a place where Krishna gave this type of instruction to someone in his teachings, in the Gita, or in his teachings in the Bhagavatam? Because anyone can say, well, I got inspired. And this is what Krishna wanted me to do. Krishna told me this. I had a dream about Krishna. And Krishna said like this. And so I have to do it like this. We don't really encourage those type of situations. Rather, if we want to do something, we should consult with our spiritual master for proper verification, for authenticity. Because on our level, the mind can dictate so many things for us. And you see, there's a problem on the planet. One of the problems is that, especially the young people, they lack self-regulation. These days, you find that young people, teenagers, are the killers. Not even grown-up, not even older adults, teenagers. And sometimes the teenagers, they kill each other. One boy, he just killed one other guy in school, one of his classmates, and by stabbing. In the past, we'll be hearing of Europe, England, for instance, London, and all these places. Stabbing, they don't carry guns there. So stabbing, killing, violence, youth violence by stabbing, or killing people by stabbing is very prominent there. But that has actually dripped into this country in a very serious way. 2 girls, they've been put in jail, they killed one of their friends. And there's so many cases like that. And so people are not being educated in self-regulation, and so they're not able to process thoughts and ideas. And whatever the mind dictates to them, they want to execute it. And that is a problem. And that is why for the devotee, we have to check out with the scripture what we think that we've been inspired or we've been, told to do, or what our ego has told us to do. In fact, we should not take instruction from the ego. We should not take instruction from the mind. Because at this stage, we cannot make a difference. Therefore, it is always good to check on the balance of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Is it what Guru wants me to do? Is it what Krishna wants me to do? Is it what the sadhus would like to hear me do? Otherwise, we could get into a confused state that this is what I thought, or this is how I got inspired to do this. This happens in a number of spiritual organizations where there are no standards, and somebody just comes to say, I got inspired to do this. Or I had God told me this. And all this stuff.
Hear that a lot.
So thank you, Sinead. So I think that we have to stop here.
There's one more question.
Huh?
Maybe there's one more.
Okay, any other questions?
Anyone in the back? They want to say something?
I wanted to ask some, yeah.
This is my first time, so what would be your advice for someone who is here for the first time?
Oh, someone who is here for the first time, my advice to that person is, after the class, you should have a chit chat with, Subi. And so that she could create a relationship. See, when you come to a place and you create a relationship, a number of things that you will want to know, they automatically come. Because if I start to talk to you officially, oh, he's a speaker, he's a Swami, and you may not be able to, let me know what the best way to help you. Therefore, creating a relationship is a preliminary stage of the preliminary advice that I could give to someone who is coming to our temple for the first time. So you're very much welcome. And Subi and Atma, they've been running this place for many years, and she will be in a very good position to help, to advise you what books you need to read and how you should be able to channel your energies. But in general, this is New York, and New York is full of passion. Sometimes we think, I have a passion for this, and we think that this is amazing. Wow, you're so passionate. There's nothing wrong in having a passion, but what's your passion for? What's the passion for? So, yeah, Krishna consciousness gives us, a broad view of how to channel our energies in a very positive way to create a sustainable positive change in our personal lives and in our family lives. And I think we should close it.
You want to make another comment, Maharaj?
No.
It's fine.
I'm going to compensate for next week, because next week also I'm coming, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to compensate for next week. So I'm sorry, today is just it's a short time, but sometimes you plan your way, and men propose, and material energy disposes. Imagine I bought a train at 4:25 to try to come here, but
But it was short but sweet anyway.
The
class was short but sweet.
Okay, thank you. I got to what do you call it? Penn Station at I think 5:06, 5:36, and then someone told me, "Oh, take this train. The other train is not available today."
Weekends.
So this is a weekend. That
The
train is
trains
not
are very
available.
bad.
So there's a lot of confusion in this country. People just give you direction in the wrong way. I said I'm looking for this what do you call it? F train, and
Oh, the weekend we have trains.
anyway. So again, thank you all of you for coming to participate in this Krishna consciousness. I'll see this place as your home. We know everyone is busy, but when you find time to come to associate with devotees, that gives you a lot of social, spiritual, and intellectual leverage. Thank you very much for coming. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.